Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel. And before we start, a huge thank you to all of my Patreons. If you want to join them and start supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description and the comment pinned down below. And with that said, let's jump into the video. So okay guys, the deck of today is Pirate Aggro with the new nerf, let's call it like that, to go hard. Exactly, pack your bags, the cards that comes with after go hard. We see that, in the start of the meta, the new meta, which is not that new because, of course, just one card change, Pirate, not Pirate, but like Aggro in general, tends to be very, very strong. And of course, Pirate Aggro has always been in the meta currently, so of course, this is the Aggro deck to go for. And also, it is obviously has a very high win rate for in that moment. In this particular moment, it has the highest win rate. So definitely, and also it is very fast because it is an aggro deck. So definitely, I think it is the most appropriate deck to rank with currently, because you have the least amount of time spent per win on average. So yeah, definitely the best deck to rank with. So as far as deck analysis goes, you definitely have a lot of one drops. Like you have a very, very consistent curve because of these. Like I didn't do the maths, but like most of the times, if you search for them, you are almost guaranteed. Like 90% of the times, you will have a one drop. None of them, like probably the best one you would want to have is Legion Saboteur. Maybe Jagged Butcher also, Legion Saboteur and Jagged Butcher as well as a 2-drop, so that you can go for 1 drop, then 2 drop, and then on turn 3 you hopefully will have another 2 drop and the Jagged Butcher, which goes for a very, very strong move. Like Jagged Butcher on turn 3 with the Plunder is maybe a 3 cost card anyway, so like you are doubling your turn 3, which is very, very strong as an aggro player. So like for example, imagine going with, I don't know, Legend Grenadier and Jagged Butcher, 2 3/3s basically. One is a 3/2, very, very strong. Then yeah, so you want to play on curve. Misfortune is here don't try to level her up too consistently, because you don't have scouts, so you will not have a lot of ways to attack. Like if you take into account that you have to attack exactly only 1 time per round, you will attack one time on turn 3, then on turn 5, then on turn 7, and then on turn 9, and then finally Misfortune levels up. Instead, with Scouts, you can do that as soon as turn 5, which is much, much stronger. So, like, yeah, on turn 9, you probably won't get to turn 9 anyway with this deck, so, like, don't really try to level up Misfortune. It's just there as, a bonus on the attack. You deal 1 more damage to the enemy Nexus. If they block, they have a rougher block, because of the AoE, basically, and, yeah, so attack with air freely. Don't be too conservative with air. Then we have Zalsprayfin to fish for our Noxian Fervor, basically. Yeah, that's our only spell at, 3 mana or less. So basically, Zalsprayfin is there as a more consistent way to draw burn. And, I can't, like, this deck analysis doesn't really matter here, but Zalsprayfin is also using Go Hard to fish for Go Hards, and I don't know how Riot doesn't see the problem here. Like, Zalsprayfin here is just, it's only good because you want to fish exactly Noxian Fervor. Like, it is broken at this point. It is just a too strong tutor for what it does. And also, like, in this particular deck, you also have the additional benefit of having actually an attack output with it. Like, it is an elusive, so it will deal even more chip damage. For 4 mana, actually 3 because you have the Attune, and the Noxian Fervor, so like 6 mana in total, you're dealing 5, which is basically another Decimate for free. Which, yeah, it's not really good. Of course, you have to sacrifice something here, but most of the times it's not even a drawback, because with Noxian Fervor, you want to cast it when they're trying to remove some of your stuff, so that you're basically denying their removal, and you're getting something on top of that, Then we have Decimate, again, as a win condition on the late game, and then we have Gangplank and Jack the Winner. Gangplank, most of the times, will be leveled up, actually, and it is very, very strong in the aggro mirror, and actually also in the Go Hard matchup, because Go Hard has a lot of very small units, and with Gangplank, with the barrel, the keg, you most of the times nuke their entire board before they do that to yourself with the Pack Your Bags. And then Jack the Winner, again, is just another way to deal burn damage. Captain Pharaon, same thing. You want to play it hopefully when you're attacking, so that you can cheap damage with Captain Pharaon on Soulwell. And then on later turns, or maybe in the same turn, if you have 3 mana, like that only happens on turn 10, so like, you know, probably on later turns you want to cast the decimates, and basically, like, if you can reduce their health to 12, and you have already a Captain Pharaoh in hand, you know that you are winning. You just have to survive, which is easily done because you are the aggressor, and then, like, you slowly win with the burn, afterwards. As far as, like, the mulligan, as I said, try to get the 1-drops, like that is the most important thing. Like, even if you see Misfortune, Gangplank, and you are tempted about, you know, keeping them because they're champions, they're shiny, don't do that if you don't have a 1-drop. Like, mulligan everything away if you don't have a 1-drop. Like, that's so important. If you see a 2-drop but not a 1-drop, then probably I will still keep it, especially if it is Legend Grenadier, probably only Legend Grenadier, because Imperial Demolition is not good as a proactive play. Like, you want to play this as a Mystic Shot on the face, basically. That's what Imperial Demolition is easier for. So, like, if it is Legend Grenadier, then probably keep it, but that's only it. Like, that's the only card that you will want to keep if you don't see a 1-drop in the Mongolian. Instead, if you see a 1-drop, then repeat this exact same process for 2-drops. So, like, mulligan everything away, except probably Misfortune at that point. Like, if you have a 1-drop, then keep Misfortune only, but mulligan everything away to search for Legend Grenadier. And if you have a 1-drop and a Legend Grenadier, finally, then you can keep mostly anything. Like, you can keep Misfortune, you can keep Gangplank, you can keep Zasrafin, the cards that, you know, you want to play, your power cards. The same goes for Jack the Winner, and maybe also Captain Pharaoh. If you have a very strong curve very early, then you can probably keep those power cards. And a very strong curve, with that, I mean a 1-drop and a 2-drop. Other than that, like, really, doesn't really matter what kind of matchups you are in, so the mulligan doesn't really change all that much based on what deck you're up against, because, you know, the game style, the play style is always the same with an aggro deck. Like, you want to kill your opponent and do that fast. So the same goes for matchups, basically. Like, you don't really have anything to do except, like, kill your opponent. Like, really. Of course, like, against control in general, like, try to kill them even faster. So, like, be very, very aggressive because you know that you are losing later on. Don't ever keep, like, this is in all matchups, don't keep the burn in your opener. But try to draw into them, because, you know, you have Zapswarifin to fish for the Nox and Fervor, and you can also have Captain Pharaoh to give your decimates. So don't keep them in the opener, just try to have a very, very strong curve. This applies in all matchups. In control in particular, that's even more important to get the 1-drop and the 2-drop, so very, very important in the mulligan. This deck is mostly played in the mulligan, really, like, there is nothing much going on. So very easy to play, actually. Against mid-range, then probably Gangplank and Captain Pharaoh can do some work there. So again, if you have the 1-drop and the 2-drop, try to search for Gangplank and Captain Pharaoh. Misfortune doesn't do much against the mid-range, so probably if you're up against Fiora Shen, it can help against the barriers, but that's the only, like, you know, exception. Instead, against aggro, then Misfortune does a lot of work, and as well as Gangplank. Instead, probably Captain Pharaoh will be a bit too slow, so definitely try to search for Misfortune and Gangplank. And actually, like, in the aggro mirror, basically, you could try, depending on the matchups, you could, for example, in this card aggro, then Misfortune and Gangplank are very, very strong, because you can nuke their board most of the times. So, like, you can be the control player, like the more value-oriented player. So yeah, like, in aggro matches, like, if you don't see a very good curve, but you see Misfortune and Gangplank in the opener, then you could try to opt to be the value player, the control-oriented player. Instead, if you see a very good curve, then try to make it even stronger, because you know that your opponent, since it is aggro, will have a curve which is similar to yours in power. So, like, you have to compete, so you have to try to make your curve as strong as possible. But, you know, if you don't see that, then you know that your opponent probably will crush you with a better curve. If you try to get a better curve when you don't have anything in the start, then you are just relying on luck. Instead, like, if you see Misfortune and Gangplank, or Misfortune or Gangplank, you have an alternative plan. So probably that will be better than just try to be lucky in the mulligan. So yeah, that's it for the deck analysis, also mulligan and matchups. Then we are going to play some games. This is actually recorded, so we are not in stream currently, because I have to do this video very, very fast. But you know, I do stream, so if you want to go into the stream and interact with me live, you know, ask me why did you do that play, what is important here, stuff like that to get to become a better player, then definitely check out the links in the description and the pinned comment. In there you can find the link to my stream and also my other socials. With that said, let's jump into some games to see this. Okay, guys, we are in Platinum 2, yeah, so pretty much kinda, you know, low tier for this time of season, but it's just that since I didn't play the game all that much, yeah, we definitely need to rank more. So, like, as I said, this is actually a mid-range deck. Ashe, Sejuani, mid-range Frostbite, or whatever you want to call it. So, like, Misfortune, I don't think will do pretty good here. It is only good against Omen Oak and Icewell Archer, and that's it, basically. So, like, again, we can probably kick her off. Captain Pharaon, on the other hand, could help us finish the game. Gangplank, it's good here in this matchup again, but we would like a 2-drop, and especially a 3-drop, which we are kicking, which is Misfortune, because we know that this is not doing very well here, because we are attacking on turn 3 and turn 1, but we see Legion Saboteur, which is very, very strong. So, like, keeping Captain Pharaon here, okay, so, you know, this is the beauty of this deck. You always have a very nice curve, like, really. Captain Pharaon, like, keeping him in the opener is very, very bold, a very bold move. Also, like, here, if he had Omen Oak, this would very, very suck, very, very much suck for us. Because, you know, we just deal 1 instead of 3. Okay, to Fire and Glory Seeker. So, like, here is the thing. We see Noxian Fervor already in play, like, in hand. So, like, we know that we can use later on this mana spell that we are missing right now. If we play Legends Grenadier, then mostly is going to remove it. But then, like, we actually like that, because we see Gangplank already in hand. So, like, dealing damage, which we can't with attack, you know, dealing damage with Legend Grenadier on non-attacking turns means that Gangplank will level up faster. We can also Noxian Fervor on turn 4, again when we are not attacking, and then on turn 5 Gangplank is leveling up. So I actually like this idea. If we actually raise Legend Grenadier, we don't really care all that much. Like, actually, we are happier. Okay, so, like, he probably saw into that, which is actually very smart from him. Actually, very, very, very smart from him. Wow, like, that's a very strong move, like, really. Okay, so we are probably better off taking the open attack, because we know that those are mostly... Okay, Calling Strike, that's pretty expensive, and now we can punish him. You know, we have an Noxian Fervor for free, we are making him waste his Calling Strike. We would have still dealt damage, because Noxian Grenadier, Legend Grenadier, as the, you know, last breath. And now we actually lose the ability to Noxian Fervor on his turn. Okay, so... Here's the thing, like, do we care more about taking 10 damage? Like, probably no, like, a Crackshot Corsair is worth less than 5 health. Because, you know, this dies without even trading on Fire and Glory Seeker. Which sucks, but at least we are keeping 5 more health, which is, you know, a bit important in this kind of matchup. Okay, so now again, next turn, it is going to happen the same thing. So, like, you know, Fire and Glory Seeker trading on either Jack the Winner or Gangplank. So, like, here's the question, what do we want to trade, to make him trade? Of course, the Jack the Winner. And here's another question, do we want to play the Jack the Winner? Like, I don't think that he has very strong moves on turn 5. He has a very strong move on turn 6, which is Sejuani. So, like, we are probably better off playing now the Jack the Winner. We can probably push more damage. Then again, we have the almost win on turn 8, especially the second, like, the turn after that. Okay, so that's actually interesting. I wonder why. Ooh, because he wanted to Calling Strike. That's interesting. Yeah, you know, he's playing very, very well. And now, like, again, for the same reason as before, we have to have a blocker for next turn. And the Misfortune is gonna be traded with by Fire and Glory Seeker without even, you know, like, you know, Fire and Glory Seeker is very, very strong. But it's kind of a bold move to have Fire and Glory Seeker with all those Gohars being around. Like, it is simply a 1 mana for 2 mana. You're losing. But okay, like he went for it and it seems to be repaying him. So now, same thing as before. Like, we probably want to go for Jack the Winner. We want to keep 1 mana for Captain Pharaon because we play Captain Pharaon on turn 8, and on turn 9 we have 9 mana plus 1, so this means that we can play 2 Decimates on the same turn. Since on turn 9 we are attacking, we can play them safely, and we just need to reduce him to 8 health and we win, without losing in the meantime. And also, like, I like the fact to play the Jagged Butcher with the Plunder activation, you know? I don't know, like, if I want to go for this here. Like, I want to play Gangplank and Jagged Butcher. So probably, yeah, we sleep with the fishes on the keg, actually. Yeah, that makes much more sense. So now we are very close on, like, leaving him at 8 health. And we actually can try to survive here. So, like, yeah, we saw very far away when we wanted to... Does he have, like, a Culling Strike here? Would hurt, because we also don't plunder from Jagged Butcher. But he already used 2, and, you know, it's kind of expensive to kill a keg. Rainfang Wolf. Okay, so he's being very, very aggressive here. Can he kill us? Not really, like, we are left at 2 health, which is pretty bad, actually. So yeah, now we go for Captain Pharaon. Ash wins. Oh, and Ash levels up. So yeah, okay, actually won. Well, like, guys, also you actually had Avaros on Earthguard as a 5-drop. Didn't think about it. Yeah, well played, man. Like, this was a very, very good core for him. Okay, so instead now we are up against Anivia Reborn. Also a very consistent deck. Actually, I'm still thinking about the game from before. The next turn we would have won. So, like, he was very lucky on that Ash wins, leveling up Ash. We would have won because we played Captain Pharaon, as I said. We reduced him to 8 health with the Sleep with the Fishes, and then we would have played the Double Decimate and killed him. But yeah, so that's how card games work. You can plan ahead as far as you want, but there is still a bit of RNG involved. So, like, we see Jagged Butcher, we see Legend Grenadier. As I said, if you have the 1 and 2 drop, you can actually keep Jack the Winner, or Gangplank, or whatever. So, yeah, I actually like keeping him here. You also see Nox and Fervor on the opener, which, as I said, is not actually the best thing ever. So, like, yeah, the advantage here is that you will mostly play nothing on the earlier turns. So, like, here is the thing. We know that probably Avalanche is coming, and we need to plan ahead and prevent it. So, probably still the best play here is to go for Legend Grenadier and Jagged Butcher. We make those 2 die, but if you look closely, like, for 3 mana and 2 cards, we got 7 points of damage, and actually, like, 8, because the Legend Grenadier is dying. For, you know, this is what we spent, and we gained 8 points of damage there, and 4 mana for the Avalanche, and a card for him. And actually, like, we can deny it even more by going for Nox and Fervor this turn, but it's something that I don't like, because, yeah, definitely Avalanche coming. Ooh, Catalyst of Eons. That's actually interesting. So, like, okay, here's the thing. He wants us to, you know, play more stuff, so that his Avalanche is stronger. He may even not have Avalanche, so, like, we can't play around something and then, you know, be too conservative about playing around something that may not even be in his hand. But, so, like, yeah, like, Jagged Butcher here is very solid, because even if he has Avalanche, this doesn't die, and that's it. We can keep the mana because we have Nox and Fervor, so, like, we are safe on that aspect. We also see Gangplank, that's actually very strong. And, you know, that's actually what I wanted to do more, because Nox and Fervor, again, on these attacking turns, where we can't do anything. Come on, Avalanche. Plate. So, Veil Fist. He's definitely preparing for an Avalanche. He also has 4 mana. So, like, what do we play here? We may actually consider Nox and Fervoring this immediately, because he doesn't drain, he doesn't summon a Spiraling, which, you know, is gonna be huge in the long run. And then, like, you know, this would still die to Avalanche, and he definitely has it. So, like, I think that this is the strongest move. And we pass, because we can keep the mana. We have the mana spell. Avaros Incenti. So, wow, he's really, really, you know, waiting to play that Avalanche. Now we are basically forced to play everything. Then, that actually sucks, but we can have to attack, because otherwise the Avalanche is heavily punishing us. And then we have to play either Jack the Winner, probably, and then Gangplank. Now we could also go for Anivia, which is killing those spiders. Okay, so Vile Feast. This is pretty interesting. Makes me think that he doesn't have, actually, Avalanche. Which would kinda suck. No, Anivia. Catalyst of Eons, another one, okay. Then yeah, Jack the Winner is the safest move here. Then next turn we go for Gangplank. He already used 2 Vile Feasts, so I don't think he has another one. If he has another one, like, man, whatever, well played. Vengeance, okay, that's actually very good for us. He's basically spent his whole turn to do this. And now we can safely go for Gangplank. Now we level him up and this seems like a win. Yeah, like, this pass here makes me think that he has a Vile Feast or a Unspeakable Horror. You know what, guys? Like, let's play it conservatively. Like, we are winning. He can't do anything on this 2 health unit. Instead, he could do something on the Powder Keg. So, like, let's be safe. Gangplank is leveling up. We don't need to do anything else, really. He already played 1 Vengeance. I don't think he has another one. Next turn we are completely winning. Did he rage quit or? Okay. Okay, so now guys, we don't need to play anything, because we know that he could have Ruination, and that would make him the winner, actually. So like, we want to attack. Here you always want to attack, if I remember correctly, with Gangplank second, but you know, you don't have a way to tell what will activate first, because you know, it doesn't show you. But yeah, like, actually here doesn't make any difference. I probably think that you should attack with Gangplank first, actually. No, because this goes to the stack first. Like, that's how it should work. So like, this goes to the stack first, then this one, you know? So like, you should attack last, with the ability that you want to resolve first. Because, you know, the stack works as last arrived, first served, as MTG. But yeah, here doesn't make a difference, because this has 1 health anyway, so like, dealing 1 or 2 to everything doesn't really matter, and you're still dealing the same amount of damage to the Nexus, 3, either 2 from these and 1 from these, or 1 from these and 2 from that. So yeah, we are winning here. Yeah, okay, so I was correct. This was actually the best way to play this possible. But you know, like, you don't even play around anything, because if this has Elixir of Iron or whatever, this could be... Okay, Flash Freeze is actually pretty strong, and also Withering Wail. Yeah. So this actually doesn't do 2, but 1, because there is... You know, the Powder Keg dies. And we just do 2. But you know, he spent a lot of resources. Now guys, we don't play anything. Which seems strange, because, you know, he still has the possible Ruination. Vengeance, okay. So now he's not in Ruination range, but he could still play Anivia. So going for Legend Saboteur first is the wrong move. We should play 3 health units, like Misfortune, Aaron Ballista, and only then Legend Saboteur. Okay, so now we are dealing 8, because, no, actually 9. Withering Wail again, okay. So we are very, very close, guys. This is actually a pretty intense game. So now we are dealing 9, 10, 11. So like, if we get an Oxen Fervor from the top, Jagged Butcher, it is not worth it again to play something. You want to play proactively. Like, most of the times you want to actually Catalyst of Eons again. Okay, so he's trying to keep in there. Like, I don't know, he could have waited for us to play actually the Noxian Fervor. Avalanche now. Wow, that's actually very strong. So he actually... he top decked that, if I'm right. Or maybe like he had it in the middle of the hand for so long. And now, guys, we are out of resources. It's probably better to play the Jagged Butcher now, because, you know, it becomes a 3-3. But that's very weak. Like, we need a Captain Pharaon to win the game. A Gangplank. That is nice. And 3. So finally he's going for Anivia. And also that's why I wanted to play Jagged Butcher as a 3-3. Because I knew that the Anivia wouldn't kill it. So now we can play Gangplank. And we actually need to. Like, what if he passes? I don't know if he's that strong to pass here. Like, if he passes... and then we play Gangplank, he could still have that Ruination. So like here, yeah, Gangplank gets damaged by 2. This Keg dies, but doesn't really matter because anyway, next turn we would have had 1. So yeah, we just take the damage here, we don't really care. Could have another Avalanche here. Gleams Beyond. That's interesting. So he's searching for something, which is, you know, something that I also would go for. Guys, like, if we draw Captain Pharaon here, we are completely winning. There is no way that he's healing 7 more health. And he's slowly dying. So now he could go for a Kinder, do some kind of insane stuff. Gangplank Parlay is actually pretty nice. Like, it is either another Gangplank or burn there. Vile Feast. What like Vile Feast here would be Archwinds. Come on, man. That's rough. So like we are 2 of lethal. Gangplank is getting traded next turn. So it is better to actually keep the parlay, even because like we don't have anything to do. The Powder Keg unfortunately is dying. Come on, even an Noxian Fervor now will make us win. Like yeah, let's actually not take more damage than we need to. This is still dying anyway, so it is better to use it as a champ blocker. So okay, now for the same reason, but he could steal Ruination first. I don't really know, guys, here. Like, if you play Gangplank and he plays Ruination, we are completely losing. So, like, let's go for Iron Ballista, just to take some time. Maybe we'll tap out of, you know, 9 mana range for the Ruination. Let's see. The Arrowing. Okay. So, this is both bad, but also good. Like, we have a turn to win, basically. Now we can't do anything about this Gangplank. We are actually winning from the AoE from Gangplank, so we were a bit lucky there. And we still have some... what is this? Avalanche? This Beyond? Okay, doesn't really matter. Now we could actually draw his last Vile Feast. This would really suck for the Powder Keg. Come on, guys, we are so close. This is one of the most intense games that I've ever played. Okay, just 2 Anivias is not that bad still. But he could have a Rekindler. Come on, Noxian Fervor, Captain Pharaon. Okay, Imperial Demolitionist is not that bad. Yeah, we attack first again. We want to play around that Ruination. Like we are playing around this Ruination from like what is it, like 10 turns now? Not really, but so like come on, man. Like you fought well, but in the end, Vengeance. Okay, still dying. Yeah, he's dead. Because the Vengeance, like the Powerful Explosion still hits. Wow, guys. Like, that was a very intense game. Hope that you learned a lot from it. Because that was very, very intense. Learned a lot from it. Okay, you see the animation from Anivias. So yeah, guys, we won. Well played, man. Really well played. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you enjoyed the video and want more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also turn on the notifications, otherwise YouTube won't notify you of my content. also enter my stream so that you can interact with me live, as well as entering the Discord server so that you can interact and stay in touch with this amazing community that we are building. All the links that I just said are down below in the pinned comment and in the description, as well as also Twitter and Instagram. So that's it for this video, hope you liked it and find it useful, and as always, see ya!